Confidence.
Confidence.
Are you confident?
Overconfident.
Are you overconfident? Is it natural confidence?
Well, when I was a kid, I remember I'd always have this conversation about the difference between confidence and arrogance. Because I think a lot of people would just see me as, and I will rub people up the wrong way because I am a bit of I bring a lot of energy to a room, and I will fill a room.
What do you think of yourself when you think about self-awareness?
I think it's improving. I think I had terrible self-awareness early on.
I did as a youngster, without a doubt. Like my
Something
blind
you
spot,
have to work
I had more
on,
blind
isn't it?
spot than I did like visual spot. Embarrassingly so. Really.
100%. I see it in other people now, and I see it. I'm not going to say, but I see it in people close to me, and I'm like, oh my god, you don't have the self-awareness. But previously, I didn't have that.
No,
So,
it's taken me years to
Yeah.
develop it, and I've still got blind spots. Blind spots, bits of me that I don't see. I say things that are just like, I say things that are either meant to be funny or, normally trying to be funny, and I was just like, why did you say that?
You've helped me.
I get
with
that from my dad. Like, I just say things. I'm like,
why did I say that?
like,
It comes out your mouth, and you're like, pull it. You want to pull it back?
I'm like, it's either like a little bit controversial or and I don't even mean it half the time. Like,
yeah.
And then it's just. Yeah.
What about you? Are you confident?
Yeah. Now,
Always?
I can tell you exactly when I became confident.
Go
So
on.
no, definitely not. I grew up very insecure.
Oh right, okay.
I wouldn't say like fundamentally flawed, but very I had a lot to prove. I wasn't confident in my own skin.
Why?
Well, I was gonna talk about how it changed.
Okay.
But why? I think probably because when you grow up at school, it's about being the cool. It's you're a result of your surroundings, aren't you?
Yeah, what we spoke about before.
And at school, it's like what is important at school. It's not that cool to be A grade student. You know that doesn't really.
No, it wasn't back then anyway.
That doesn't really get you
it might
laid,
be
does
now.
it? It's like
I don't know. Geeks are cool now.
Yeah, well.
So maybe school's totally different now because if you get on your phone or whatever, I don't know. Maybe that's what gets you.
Probably, yeah.
Whereas before it was like being good at football, being good at sport.
I think it's back to what we talked about earlier about motivation. Is like what is like. I think probably I don't know if this is the case. I've just sort of tagged it to it. Is probably about because I don't bring. Some people bring to the table being good looking, like traditionally good looking, and all of that. And when you're younger, that's quite an important thing if you want to have the best things in life. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do know what you mean, yeah.
So it's like I think there was a lot of drive there to be like, well, I'm not gonna, I want these things. Like, everyone wants to be popular.
But people who aren't good looking can be incredibly confident. I think I personally, it must be like you said, the way you're brought up. I don't know if.
Well, some people
I don't
are
know if
really
it's what
confident
your
and turn
parents-
out to be really insecure. Do you know what I mean? It's like there is a whole other flip side to that,
Surely-
especially in today's world, like Instagram and all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, totally. But my view on confidence is, I think my dad just planted it in me. I think it is a gift you give your kids. I think you have to put it in your kids. I don't know. I'm not.
Have you always been confident?
Yeah.
Just to know.
And
as well.
all my siblings are, and I think it is something that your parents teach
Do you know where confidence? Do you know where the word confidence comes from? Like what it actually means.
No,
Well,
go on.
it's either confident, like it's a Latin. It's from Latin basis. There's a word called like federe, I think it is, or fidere, which is like right far back, and then another one which basically says confidence, but it's like confidante or something. That sounds French, but what it means is
a confidant is someone who you trust with something.
This is it. It's
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
What it actually means is trust. It's like you trust yourself, and confidence comes when you. So if you think about crossing a bridge. If you cross a bridge, and it says you cross a bridge and you don't know whether it's going to stand up. The first time you're anxious. The more you go over the bridge, you have confidence that it's going to stand up. It's the same with yourself. The way that you build confidence is to become fundamentally like you absolutely trust your own decisions, your own like decision-making process, your ability to succeed.
That's what I was saying about autonomy earlier.
Oh, that's where it comes from. I can
It
tell
is,
you,
yeah, because you feel like you can do it no matter what. You don't have. If you're autonomous, if you're confident enough in yourself, in your own ability.
Do you think you
So
can achieve anything?
Yeah, honestly, I do.
Do you?
And that's the difference between arrogance and confidence. But I honestly believe and I think anyone is capable of doing anything.
So that's interesting. So I would say I believe anything I set my mind to, I believe I can achieve.
Yeah.
I've got if I say we're going to start this charity, we're going to break the world record,
Yeah.
we're going to hit this target. Once that check's written on a bit of paper to start the process, it's like there's no way we're not standing on a stage in 13 weeks lifting the check. That's absolutely happening. But if you asked me to learn to play the piano, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'd have the drive or interest or play the flute, something that's completely not what I want to do with my life.
That's interesting.
Do you think you would? What would you dislike doing?
To answer your question is like, I wouldn't enjoy learning to play the flute, but I could do it. I know I could do it, right? I don't know. So
when I say, do you think you can achieve anything? If it was something you didn't want to do you think you could achieve it? Really?
Yeah, I could force myself to do it.
That's very interesting. But the thing is, when you start forcing yourself, it's like
I could go through all the misery.
When you get through that when you get that flywheel going, it's like you were saying about your taste buds. You know, you do change your taste buds. You force yourself to eat celery 8 times. I've hated celery my whole life. You fed me at wherever we were, some hotel. And then I forced myself to eat it 4 or 5 times. I love it now.
Really? That's amazing. I didn't know that. Good for you.
Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, so that is definitely my mindset. I think that's just like coming through. I do, and I appreciate people listening to this and people generally, like, the barriers go up. No, you can't. There's all these reasons why not. I think what I like to do is give myself, there is no reason, there is no excuse. And I don't know if that is because of the way I was brought up. Like, it must have been taught to me, because it's not genetic. It must be a learned behaviour and a mindset.
How do you think our confidence differs? Do you think I'm confident? Do you think I'm a confident person?
Yeah, I do. I think I think the thing that impressed me about you always was how confident you were in your like business acumen. So it was like, I would see you take risks that I don't think I'd be prepared to take. And I remember asking you, like, well, what happens if you don't get planning permission on that site? And you were like, it'd be fine, sort of thing. And you just take it in your stride. Because I believe in business you're incredibly sharp, and like you've studied it for so long, you can absolutely nail it. But then when I hear you talk about other things, like, you know, you've mentioned a few times your time at school, etc., etc. I'm like, well, maybe you're not as confident personally as you are in business. It's definitely your domain.
Well, I'd say, looking back now, all those things all these like fake reality, all these things you think are reality, looking back, all of that was a load of bollocks anyway. It was like you playing this game in this space, but as you get older, it doesn't ever play out like that anyway. And like you said earlier, the things you think you want as a kid is like, actually you don't want that at all. You go through that, you have those things, and you're like, actually that's not what I want from my life at all. I can tell you exactly when I became confident for the first time.
Yeah, go on.
Was when, so I'd already won like Young Entrepreneur of the Year, I'd already won Intuit 100, I'd won some other awards, and but I was still fake it.
They help, because awards don't help for me. They were just like,
this is what I'm getting to. So like,
it was cool on the night, but I don't ever. Yeah.
Well, that was the time I realised that it's all an anticlimax. Is when I won Young Entrepreneur of the Year. I came off the stage with my award, went into the press interview, and remember thinking, this is like.
It doesn't mean.
I was expecting confetti popping in my head.
Oh really? That's interesting.
But it wasn't. It was just proper like, well, that was, that's job done now. It's the chase more than anything like that.
So you were searching significance, but actually you realised you weren't going to get significance from the awards.
I've got an award. I don't know if you see it. I'll put it on Facebook.
I saw it, man, for the Nottingham thing. Congrats. Yeah. And
it's like I really appreciate that, and it's really credible. But it's not like a life changer. It doesn't make me feel like, and I'm very grateful for it. It's like, it's very, very grateful, but it's more what takes to become that person than actually being recognised.
So it's internal, not external, right? That's what I've learned.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like
it's who you are. It sounds hippy clippy, but it's who you are here. Success is internal.
10 years ago, maybe even only 5 years ago, you wouldn't have caught me in a business scenario wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like we were in.
Look at this yin and yang, white and black. I've just realised.
Yeah, well that's it. It's like these are like Primark jeans and a £3 t-shirt from H&M. It's I feel so comfortable and confident in myself now. But I'm being around the bush.
Yeah.
The time that it all came together was when I won Mastermind. So broke the record, won top performer, went out on the lash, got absolutely smashed. Woke up the next morning, was late for graduate. Was on the way there, like hungover. I opened the door and everyone stood up. Like everyone had already been there half hour. Stood up, gave me a standing ovation. Were like, "Oh, congratulations, Dan. How does it feel?" And I was like, honestly, I'm so hungover. You have no idea. And up till then, I would have faked not being hungover.
Yeah,
I would have been like, I don't want people to know that I drink, things like that.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, I'm finally confident in myself.
Put a mask.
I'm confident saying, this is what I do. And you know what I'm like on stage now, I'll tell everyone exactly how it is.